we back on game, and let me say this right now, I'm actually in a pretty good mood, because we don't have that much negative news this week. And what I mean by it is, from the community. The community actually did something positive this week. They actually stuck to their guns, and they fought others this week. So I don't have any negative news to talk about the community this week. I'm actually pretty glad about that. And I know some of you are going to say, but Event, what about the negativity? You know, what was going on with WB, and they were paying off YouTubers. As far as I'm concerned, paying off YouTubers, they're not part of the community. They're separate from the community. Every time you see one of these big-ass YouTubers talk, they're always months or years late to the party. Always, all right? So if they want to shill out their products to their customers, that should tell you something, all right? Once again, we talked about this last week where, you know, we talked about how, you know, YouTubers are doing certain things that are egregious and should they be kicked out of the community. And judging by the comments last week, all of you were okay with kicking people out that were very egregious. You know, if they did something egregious, kick them straight out of the community. That's it. It's over. Done. Your time is over. The question is, how far do you go? Do you feel as though what we've seen with WB, with those YouTubers, because they didn't disclose much, they didn't. Do you think they should be kicked out too? Like, how far do we go here? But like I said, I don't want to talk about that too much. Maybe next week we'll talk about that, because, like I said, there's enough negativity when it comes to this video. And like I said, not from the community. From the media. That's right, and the community fighting against the media. So let's get started. Let's talk about Pokémon Go. That's right. Got a lot to talk about Pokémon Go. As we know, Pokémon Go has just become this big trend. It is huge. It has taken over pretty much everything. And you know what? I'm glad to see that. You want to know why? This app, and I've been playing it for a while now, for quite a couple days. I feel as though it's brilliant. I feel as though, and I know a lot of people who play regular Pokemon are upset with it because it doesn't have the certain things that Pokemon does, and you know, with the other games. I'll explain that later, all right? But you have to understand, this app is built around having pretty much a virtual scavenger hunt. That's what it is. And the thing is, it wants you to be social. We'll talk about that later as well. You have to understand that this app does more than just say, hey, I'm catching Pokemon. What this app is designed to do is get you off your ass, get you outside, walking around, meeting other people, talking to people, and actually being social. Not to mention, it takes you in parts of your city or a place, or places wherever you go, and it actually locates different landmarks. So pretty much, you're being a tourist in your own city. You are actually seeing the sights. That's what it is. That's how you get your Pokeballs when you go to specific landmarks, and you got to spin the thing to get your Pokeballs or your eggs or whatever. You know what I mean? So it actually does more than just sit around and, hey, you're just catching Pokemon. No, you're out there, you're getting exercise without knowing it, and you're actually being a tourist. You're looking around the city, you're talking to strangers that you don't know. It makes you engage with people. That's the beauty of it. That's the genius of the app, okay? So I don't have a problem whatsoever with Pokemon Go. I've been having fun with it. I will say the problems that I had no problem with. The problems I do have with it are some mechanical problems. Now, for those who don't know, I've been trying to catch certain Pokemon when you're trying to catch them. I'll catch them, and then the game will freeze. And then I have to restart the app, and then I lost the Pokemon that I caught. So that's a problem. Yesterday, I went to a gym to go fight, okay, to have a battle, and game froze. I didn't see it. I mean, like, you saw who I was fighting, and it was my Pokemon, but the screen wasn't moving. There was no animation. There wasn't anything. You heard the sound of the fight going on, but I couldn't do anything. It just froze. Like, nobody was moving, nothing. You know what I mean? So, I lost. It said, you lost. Like, it came back, it was like, you lost. I'm like, didn't see anything. Like, nobody was moving. No Pokemon was moving. No one was attacking, was getting hit. You heard it, but nothing was happening. So, clearly, it was a mess up with the game. And once I found that out that there was an update, I, of course, downloaded the update that came out a couple hours later, right? Because I didn't know there was an update until I actually read on some more stuff on it. So those are the only problems I've had with the game, is just freezing. That's it. And let me tell you something now, all right? I want to talk about this. Charmander, okay? On Tuesday, I spent 3 Pokeballs trying to catch Charmander, okay? 3. Charmander kept escaping the Pokeball. All right? And then, on Tuesday, after the 3rd Pokeball, Charmander disappeared, took off, ran away. Sons of bitches, right? You son of a bitch, yeah, you just making me waste all those Pokeballs? Okay. Yesterday, ran to Charmander again, all right? Took 4 Pokeballs, but I got him. understand that for people who haven't played it, okay, that the app, when you're walking, you don't need to have the app on like the entire time. It buzzes. It tells you when there's a Pokemon in the area. So you don't need to have your phone up like this and walking down like this and just walking in society. So you can walk in the signs, walk in the cars and stuff like that. And that's what we're going to talk about today, okay, right now. Pokemon Go player finds a dead body, okay? So, okay, you found a dead body. Now, is that a big deal? Yes, it's a big deal, but not because the Pokemon Go players, oh my god, I ran into something. No. You don't have to worry about that. It happens. Alert the police, all right? And you say, whoa, what do you mean it happens? Yeah, it happens. Whatever, depending on where you're at, it happens. You find a dead body. You never know. You can find a homeless person who died on the street. It's a dead body. It doesn't, you know what I mean? No one knows the implications of how the person died. But the Pokemon Go player who was playing did run into a dead body, okay? That's one. Teen playing Pokemon Go is mugged and stabbed in bad neighborhood. I think that tells itself. Don't you think? If you're in a bad neighborhood, you should know to look at your surroundings. You should know if you're in a bad neighborhood. Don't pull out your expensive fucking phone and be like, what's going on here? Guess what? They're going to get you. That's what it comes to. People are going to rob you if you're sitting out with an expensive-ass phone in a bad neighborhood. It doesn't matter, and I've seen it so much this week. Oh, if you're black, something will happen. If you're white, something will happen. It doesn't matter what fucking race you are. People are not seeing that. If they're going to rob you, they don't care what race you are, what gender you are. You pull out something expensive that they don't have, they're going to take it. That's what it comes down to in a bad neighborhood. Use common sense, please. There's more. Now, this is what really pisses me off. It really does. For those who don't know, Pokemon Go Pokemon Go devs remind players to be safe and alert. We've seen the police say, Pokemon players, be safe and alert. Check this out. Daughter was hit by car while playing Pokemon Go. Now, this is how sleazy the fucking media is, okay? Because they use Pokemon Go. Daughter is hit by car while playing Pokemon Go. When you read the article says that the girl was done playing Pokemon Go and she wasn't playing it anymore, then got hit by the car. So how is your headline, she got hit by a car while playing Pokemon Go, when inside the article it says that she wasn't playing Pokemon Go anymore? It goes to show you that people are using this just to boost views, ratings, clicks, whatever. Sleazy ass media. But she did get hit by a car. Now, all these people are saying, you need to be safe, you need to be alert, use common sense. They tell you in the beginning, the first fucking loading screen, I swear to God, I've been talking about this on Twitter all week. If you have a problem with, running into bad people, if you have a problem with getting hit by a car, if you have people constantly telling you, oh, be safe, be aware, you have the police saying, be safe, be aware. Are you playing these games? Have you even opened up the app? Because soon as you try and load the app, this comes up. As soon as you launch the app, it's the first screen. How do you not see that? So as far as I'm concerned, if something happens, it's on you. Pay attention. Now, I want to move on to more negative news. There's going to be a lot of negative news about this that I'm going to have to destroy today, okay? I'm going to knock all this down because for honestly all week, that's all it's been. Negative, negative, negative. Yeah, I'm going to counterbalance that with the positive. So, let's get started. The Westboro Baptist Church recruits Jigglypuff against the LGBT community on Pokemon Go. Now, for those who don't know, the Westboro Baptist Church was actually located, it's actually like a Pokemon spot. It's actually really funny. But apparently, they decided to take it a different way. So you went and recruited Jigglypuff, huh? Out of all, I'm surprised that you didn't recruit Trigglypuff, to even, to make it even funnier, you know what I mean, as a troll to them. But you went and got Jigglypuff. You do realize that depending on whoever Pokemon that they have, they're going to come after you. You understand that, right? The Westboro Baptist Church is trying to take advantage of this, and as far as I'm concerned, they shouldn't. But that's what they do. They always pull stunts. Like I said, in the negative. Why are you taking a Pokemon? Mind you, this is a game that's supposed to be for everyone to get together, and you're using the game to actually slander someone else. That's what you're doing. You're using a game that is meant for everyone to come together and have fun to bring negativity to it. That's absolutely disgusting. It's pathetic. But we have more news. That's right. The bad press began to roll out. And we're going to get started with this. Because apparently, There's women now who say, oh my god, stop trying to talk to me while I'm playing Pokemon Go. Are you fucking serious? Man, if you don't get the fuck out of my face with this old bullshit, you're just so damn hot that everyone's trying to talk to you. Fuck out of here. Don't nobody give a shit, sugar tits. Let me tell you something, alright? Ever since this Pokemon Go has been going on, I have seen some of the most drop-dead, gorgeous women playing this game. Do I say anything? No. Are we playing next to each other? Yes. Do we talk about Pokemon? Yes. It doesn't mean I'm fucking hitting on them. Just because you're having a casual conversation with somebody on a specific, a mutual interest, does not mean that all of a sudden, hey, I'm hitting on you, I'm hitting you. All right, can I get your number and all this? Because we can play Pokemon Go together. Get the fuck out of here with that. Stop, all right? I'm not trying to hear, stop hitting on me. This game is built for people to talk to each other, all right? That's what it is. If you don't want to talk to other people, if you want to be antisocial with a social app, I suggest that you delete the app so that you can be left alone. Oh, there's so many people are hitting on me. Yeah, right. I'm not trying to hear that shit, but it gets worse, all right? Because other women say, oh, well, the strangers, they keep talking to me, and these nerds need to go back into their basements, and just leave us alone. It's absolutely disgusting that people are actually writing this stuff to attack the fan base. Clearly, this woman who wrote this article has no idea what the fuck she's talking about. Whatever happened to days where gamers stayed indoors? You never been to a fucking arcade? Seriously? You never been to the mall? Like, are you serious? This is something that someone actually wrote and thought that they were 100% correct on. To say that gamers has stayed firmly in their houses, no, that's never been the case. Pokemon in general, if you play Pokemon from the beginning, back when it was blue versus red, it's always been a social game. It has always made you go out and fight with people. But connect with people so that you can fight and collect different Pokemon. If you had blue, guess what? You can only get certain Pokemon on blue. So you had to go find someone who had red and link up with them so you can get the other Pokemon and trade them off or whatever. Or battle. Either way, you still had to go out of your way socially to find someone. Unlike, listen, you could have a friend who had red and you could play together. Either way, you still had to be social. The game series has always been built on that. Where the fuck are you coming with this where gamers stayed indoors firmly? Where did this shit come from? If you don't like Pokemon Go, first off, if you're saying this already about strangers talking to you, once again, delete the fucking app. I have seen, and I said just not too long ago, drop-dead gorgeous women playing this game. I've also seen bodybuilders playing this game, police officers playing this game, military playing this. We'll talk about that in a minute, okay? But you have to understand that all walks of life, other than unless you're an animal, when it comes to no matter gender or age, is playing this game. Why do you have a problem with that? Why must you feel the need to be so negative with something that's really positive? Look, people, for those who know, here in Philadelphia, the Philadelphia Zoo has had a special. If anyone follows me on Twitter, you're seeing what I'm tweeting or retweeting. They've already put a thing out for Pokemon Go at the Philadelphia Zoo. And some of you said, yeah, that seems a lot more safer than most things, all right? Because it's more controlled. But also, there's been runs here. That's right. They're having, Pokemon Go runs here. So they're getting groups together, running groups, to go and Pokemon Go. They've had groups get together over the weekends just to scavenger hunt in the parks. That's right. So it goes to show you that this is becoming big socially. Not just that, but for those who don't know, people who use the Charity Miles app, because for those who don't know Charity Miles, when you walk a certain amount of miles or whatever, you actually, raise money for, certain charities. They give you a list of charities you can pick. But the more you walk, the more money you raise for it, and you're sponsored by like Johnson & Johnson and all these other places. So what they're doing now is, if you use Pokemon Go and you're walking around, they want you to also use the Charity Miles app, so you're raising money for charity as you're catching Pokemon. Everyone is having their own little thing and being very opportunistic about this in a positive fashion, and here you come with negative bullshit. It is absolutely ridiculous, but you know what? I don't even think I need to talk about strangers getting together anymore, because you're seeing strangers getting together as bad, where others see strangers getting together and helping people as good.
We've already seen the warnings today from Valley Police about Pokémon Go. Don't play while you're driving, don't trespass.
But tonight, one West Valley family says it was that app that led them to a young boy who desperately needed help. ABC 15's Raquel Cervantes reports from the Tartesso Sports Park in Buckeye.
If it weren't for the Pokémon Go app on her cell phone, Jeanette Warren says she would have never been at this park this time of year in the heat. But she's glad she was here when a young boy desperately needed her help. Jeanette Warner follows her phone over to the park playground in search of the virtual creatures in her neighborhood on the Pokémon Go app. Yesterday, it was here that Jeanette was playing the game when she noticed two teen boys ordering a younger boy around. She didn't think too much of it at first, but after leaving the park and returning to keep playing, the behavior continued.
I noticed that the little boy was running back and forth in the sun. And at this point, I'm thinking it's just way too hot for this kid to be running.
Being in the triple digits, her concern for the boy grew and things got worse.
I noticed that the little boy was on the ground and one of the older boys was standing over him and yelling at him. At that point, I just called 911.
Jeanette says the teens made the boy with his legs wobbling get on his bike and they all rode off. But by the time they reached the dirt lot across the street, he collapsed, pale and no longer sweating, and the teens took off.
Pretty much horrified. It was a very difficult experience.
Buckeye police says the boy may have had a seizure in the heat.
There is no way that I would have ever been here without this funny little game.
Her son saying he always knew his mom was a hero.
To have everyone else see what a hero she can be is really great.
Firefighters arrived and took the boy to a hospital. We checked with police and with firefighters, but they were not able to give us an update on the boy's condition or any information on the teens who were with him at the time. Reporting in Buckeye, Raquel Cervantes, ABC 15 News.
It goes to show you that those children who wrote those articles, and that's what I'm going to call them, children, have no idea what the fuck they're talking about as opposed to what happens in reality and the kindness of strangers. Maturity. Try some. If anything, I think you two, the one who wrote those articles, stop hitting on me and you should stay in the house. I think if anything, you're the people who's been in the house too long, as far as I'm concerned. But when you've already tackled, sexism, when you've already tackled harassment, and we'll talk about this just a little bit, all right, just a little bit later. But when you've already tackled those things, the media has no idea what else to say. Oh, wait, they want to play now the race card. So it could be a death sentence for black men. Oh, my, you know what? I better not go outside. I guess I should take back what I said about those two other people, and I should just stay in the house, huh? And just be scared of my life. I should not play Pokemon Go. I should just delete the app already, because it's a death sentence, apparently, for me if I go outside and play it. If you don't get the fuck out of my face, this old bullshit, as a black man, let me tell you, the history of my experience of a black man, all right? Being harassed by police. Guess what? Walking down the street, being harassed by police. I don't have a cell phone. I don't have a Pokemon Go doing like this and looking for Pokemon and all that shit. No. Just walking down the street by yourself and they harass you. Let's talk about driving while black. Driving in your car and they pull you over. And the first thing they ask you, they don't ask you for license or registration. No, the first thing they say to you is, do you have any weapons in the car? That's the first thing they ask you. Yeah, let's talk about that. You think with all this type of harassment going on, for those who don't know, all right, when I was playing in basketball leagues and I messed up my leg, and I've said this before, but I'll say it again, on crutches, walking down the street on crutches with a cast on my leg, cop thinks, hey, I was the guy who was just running around, jumping from house to house, spray painting on the houses. How is that possible? But yet, they took me in. That's right. Took me in. The thing is, was it before he even took me in? Because he was like, you're going to come with me. And I'm like, what for? Hit me in the leg. That one had a cast on it with his nightstick. Look, people, understand that police brutality does exist, especially in the fucking 15th district. And for those who saw my tweet last night about that shit, when people were cheering them on, fuck you. All right? There is a reason in the Northeast it is the way it is. No matter, I can't tell you how many times I've been harassed at the arcade from police. You look like a suspected drug dealer. How? Because you're always here. Because I'm playing the fucking games. I'm in the tournaments. People know me. Like, come on. You know what I mean? But no, don't talk back to a police officer, because if you make him salty, then you'll get disorderly conduct. Like I said, I've had so many incidences with the police department and had to go to court and fight for that. And guess what? I don't don't have a jail record. That's right. So when they bring you in, guess what they do? They put you in the little holding cell. They let you sit there for a fucking half an hour. They look up your record and see what's going on. Oh, no, he doesn't have anything. Okay, we can set him free. That's what happens. But they think they're going to try and get you on something. They got to post you up. They got to take the pictures of your tattoos and all. So if you do a crime in the future, they'll have record. That's right. That's what they do. Like I said, I've had so many run-ins with police. And mind you, like I said, don't have a record. I can't tell you how many times I've been in the car with people going to the mall to go to the arcade, okay? And mind you, the other 3 friends with me, white. I'm in the back. Guess what? They stop the car. Mind you, you're going like 5 to 10 miles an hour in the mall, outside the mall, because you can't drive it so fast in the fucking mall. And the cop pulls us over, and what happens? Doesn't talk to the driver, doesn't talk to the other passengers, looks in the back and says to me, "Get out the car." Yeah. You gotta love it. I said 15th fucking district. You got problems. You've always had problems since I'm gonna say 96, I'm gonna say. But you've always had problems. I've had my fair share of, incidences with the police, run-ins with the police. Like I said, I don't have a record. I don't. And it goes to show you that if you don't go to court and fight that shit, they will get you every fucking time. So as far as I'm concerned, when someone writes an article saying, "Oh, black, it's a death sentence for," very dramatic as fuck. Death sentence? Really? A death sentence. Okay, fuck you. Alright? But for you to say it's a death sentence for black men, and for all the shit that us black men go through every day, you're going to tell me that Pokémon Go is going to be the thing that's going to cause our death sentence. That is going to, so all the shit you've been through the years that you've lived and had to deal with that shit, this app is the one that's going to do it, huh? Get the fuck out of my face with that bullshit. It's amazing how people try and justify this shit too. Well, it could happen. You notice the word is could. Could. Anything can fucking happen. Should I say, he could have said, it may happen. That's my prediction. It could happen. It may happen. And then if something happens, oh, see, I was right. I was right. Oh, yeah, writer was right. He was on the, you people didn't know what you're talking about. Anyone can say it could happen. Aliens could come down from the sky. It could happen. Someone could get shot right now. It could happen. That's why this article is bullshit. It projects. That's all it does. And for people to sit here and try to sit here and say, well, he's right. No, he's not fucking right. And you can say, but Yvette, that's from your experience. Yes, that's from my personal experience. But guess what? There's a lot of other black men who have the same fucking experience. I guarantee you there's some black men out there who haven't had that experience. So for them, they're going to say, oh, well, I don't see this as a problem. I don't think this is, I haven't been, haven't been harassed or anything. I don't see how this would happen. Some people can say that. But for you to sit here and say that Pokemon Go, out of all things, oh, it's because you have your cell phone out. Look, if I have my cell phone out like this, and I'm doing this, and I'm trying to swipe like this, does it look like a fucking gun? No! It doesn't! And as bright as the fucking screen is on the damn game, you gonna tell me that someone's not gonna see that from a mile away? And that's in the dark. Could you imagine during the day? You definitely can't get away from it during the day. You know what? Since we're on this bullshit, once again, since you want to bring up, well, cops are racist and people are racist and they suspect black people, you know what? Let's knock that theory down right now.
Everyone is suddenly catching Pokemon fever again.
And you may have heard stories of people hunting down Pokemon everywhere, and it's affecting practically everyone from kids to adults and now even police officers.
Eyewitness News reporter Susan Campbell joins us with more on the Pokemon craze.
Fall River police tell me this new game is actually helping police connect with the community. They say right now that connection is more important than ever. Fall River police officer Jonathan Estrella was on patrol Sunday when he noticed a group of people on their phones. He could tell right away they were playing Pokemon Go.
Got him.
The virtual scavenger hunt game that's gone viral in less than a week. Officer Estrella decided to join them.
They're actually impressed that a police officer would even know what it is.
The moment was captured on camera and posted to Twitter. It's been retweeted more than 1,000 times.
Things like this kind of bridge a gap that's there between the police and the community. They were able to talk about a common subject, and it kind of just broke all barriers between them.
Detective Nelson Souza handles most of the department's social media posts. He says Officer Estrella didn't even realize the photos had been snapped.
I think it's important right now that there is more community police involvement with each other and communication, so that way some of the fears and misconceptions could be lessened.
Police say if you are going to play Pokemon Go, use common sense. Don't trespass on private property, don't walk out into traffic, and don't go searching for characters late at night in unlit or unsafe areas.
It seems like these fucking clowns on these social justice websites like Kotaku and Polygon, and Mary Sue, it goes to show you that every time something positive that can bring people together, here you go and try and tear it apart. Because you can't stand for people to either have fun or be fucking happy unless it's under your thumb of rule. Fuck you. That's how I feel. It is absolutely ridiculous that these articles are being written and are greenlit. That's right. Oh, well, it's just his opinion, you know what I mean? And it can create controversy, clicks, and cash. No, you're just fucking wrong. How about that? But every time somebody tries to tell you that, oh, no, I got to block them. It is absolutely ridiculous. Take some fucking responsibility. You think that you're trying to help and diversify things, but you're actually segregating things, to be honest. You're actually pushing the machine to keep hate going. That's what you're doing. If you're seeing this app bring people together, oh, but you know what? There could be some sexists out there. There could be some racists out there. There could be some harassers out there. Could be. And that's where you let your mind go, and then you go off to write your little fucking articles. And then you hope that people agree with you. Instead of seeing reality for what it is. This is bringing people together. And I cannot believe that people would do that. This is why I am so happy that the community has stepped up this week and said, you know what? No, fuck you. Fuck you. We're not having this. And they've gone after them. This is great to see. But there's more news. Because you keep thinking that this doesn't bring more people together. I'm going to put the link in the info bar for this. U.S. Marines playing Pokemon Go help nab murder suspect. That's right. Don't sit here and fucking tell me that this is something that's just bad. It should be taken away. I've seen people say, well, you know what? I don't like this game. I think it's stupid. All these people are playing it. I'll never play Pokemon Go. No one's putting a fucking gun to your head and saying, hey, play this game. Nobody. Okay? So if you don't want to play the game, don't play the game. But to jump on people who are playing the game, who are having fun, why would you do that? Why? Fuck you. You think you're too manly to play the fucking game? Like I said, you got firefighters who risk their lives every day playing the game. Police officers who risk their lives every day playing the game. Marines playing the game. People who protect our country playing the game. And you think you're too manly to play the fucking game? Fuck you. If you don't like it, that's fine. But people are having fun and getting good exercise doing this scavenger hunt, this virtual scavenger hunt. Leave these people alone. They've done nothing wrong. But there's more. We have people who want to be opportunists. Now, we already talked about opportunity from a positive standpoint. Now we're seeing it from a negative standpoint. Because now people are trying to get jobs as a virtual Pokemon trainer. That's right. They want you to pay I should do it from the lowest to the highest, $15 to $20 an hour. No way. Go get a fucking job, you fucking losers. And people on Twitter, they jumped all over me about this. Oh, they just trying to do them. Why are you so mad? Because they're just trying to get over on people. That's what it is. If you want something like this, if you have to put yourself out there as a virtual let's be honest here, you're a virtual dog walker. That's what the fuck you are. And for you to put yourself out there to embarrass yourself, is that how bad you need money? That you need to do that? The one who doesn't even have a fucking bra on. You're going to tell me that you're going to put yourself out there that bad because of Pokemon Go, that you don't have any type of work? I put it like this. Take your ass back to school. Don't worry about a job. Go get a career. How about that? That's too much like right, huh? Yeah. But instead, let me whore myself out for Pokemon Go because it's trendy right now. It's hot right now. So let me try and jump on the train. Let me try to jump on this bandwagon. So I can take advantage of, people who are too stupid, a fool and their money are easily parted. But let me take advantage of that, yeah. It's not like, other people, let's get together and have runs and all that stuff and do something positive for the community. No, let me do something for myself. And try to get over on people. Because when it gets old, nobody's going to want to do it after that. Fucking pathetic, man. And I can't believe the number of people who agreed with this, too. Like, seriously. This is what I mean. This is the bullshit. But there's more. Apparently now, if, you have Pokemon Go, if your house is near a training stadium, apparently that is grounds to be bought. That's right. Pokemon Go is now selling houses. It's in the damn listing! Like, come on, man, are you serious? Come on! But let's move on. Pokemon Go is bigger than Tinder and about to overtake Twitter, which I can see that, alright? This app, like I said, it brings people together. And on a social level, guess what? You have to go outside. You're face-to-face with people. No longer are you an egg on Twitter. No longer are you slinging bullshit on Twitter. You're actually talking with people and having fun because you have a common interest. And it should overtake both of them as far as I'm concerned. But, in more, for people who were upset about Pokemon Go, we know that not too long ago, there was a problem with the iOS and Pokemon Go if you decided to, to play the game and there were some security breaches or whatever. Well, as you know, with the new update, that has been taken care of, alright? But, there's more, alright? Pokemon Go update will now have notifications, security risks are fixed, and for those who are upset about how the way the game is played, there will be updates bi-weekly on this, okay? So, you're getting trading soon, you're getting leaderboards, and more. I will put the link in the info bar for you, okay? But, as we know, Pokemon Go has taken over. And for those who have not seen what's been going on Twitter, the FGC has decided to meme it out. That's right. For those who don't know, at first, remember, Overwatch killed the FGC. Now they're saying that Pokemon Go and Overwatch are killing the FGC. But, as we know, since the FGC needs help, because that's what they're saying, players are not practicing in the fighting games because they're too busy playing Overwatch or they're too busy outside playing Pokemon Go, that now with EVO coming up, that they decided that they're going to cash in on the Pokemon experience as well and try to get you to come because there's rare Pokemon at the venue. And what better time than to segue right into the FGC with the stuff, with the fighting game, information. So let's get started, alright? King of Fighters, My Shiranui, joins Dead or Alive 5 last round. That's right. So DLC will be coming with Mai in it. For those, I'm telling you now, for those who play Dead or Alive 5, this will probably be the only DLC that you really need after all these other bullshit costumes. This is actually the character itself. So, let's move on. King of Fighters, because as we know, it's getting big. We are seeing all this. For those who didn't see Nightmare Geese, Jesus Christ, it's looking really well done. But, for those who don't know at EVO, King of Fighters 14, they're having a side tournament. That's right, at EVO, it'll be a $2,500 pot, also a developer panel for the game. So it goes to show you that it will be there. I don't know how you're going to play it. I guess you should be practicing on 13, like I said people would probably do. King of Fighters 14 is coming, let me practice on King of Fighters 13, and that's all you can do. The game looks like it's going to play the same way. It's just different graphics. That's all it is. But the gameplay itself, at its core, still looks the same as the other King of Fighters. So you have to give it credit for what it's due. So as far as I'm concerned, if you go in practicing on 13 because you didn't have a chance to play 14, I would say you're okay. You'd be somewhat okay. I'm sure some moves will be changed here or there because as we know with King of Fighters, they tend to change moves, instead of charge up, quarter circle, or whatever at times. They kind of flip-flop every once in a while. For those who have played the series, especially if you played with Terry Bogard, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So, Rising Tackle. That's all I'm going to say. So, let's move on to more fighting game news. Tekken 7 producer claims that SJWs prevent swimsuit costumes. Now, when he said this on Twitter, when Harada said this on Twitter, he made a joke, and people got offended. They got offended. They did. Women got offended. And he apologized. He was like, the tweet was for the men. I apologize if you feel, if you're offended. Didn't mean to offend you. It's a joke. I will take down the tweet. He took down the tweet, right? Because it was the right thing to do. It's the mature thing to do. Now, the person that he retweeted at the time when he was talking to him, all right, came out and asked the girl who was offended. He was like, yo, his tweet made my day. You know what I mean? He was like, and you took that away from me. Now, mind you, the person was a little upset over it. You know what I mean? The woman who was upset over this, she said, I didn't mean to do that. I apologize. I didn't mean for that to happen. I was just offended by his tweet. Now, mind you, this conversation is pretty mature right now, right? Right? Okay. Harada comes out again and says, no. Don't blame her. It's my fault. That's why I deleted it. I shouldn't have went that far. It was a joke, but clearly people were offended. I'm sorry. Do not blame her for being offended. Sounds very mature, right? Okay. And then IGN writers come in and start this whole SJW thing. They get so upset, like you had to be immature about it. It was already solved. You know what I mean? Why would you do that? Why would you say something? Why would you use the term SJW? It's offensive. And then people are like, oh, well, you know, you're using MRA, was it white men neck beard stuff? Like, come on. Like, everything was fine, and it always takes one fucking idiot to try and take it to somewhere it doesn't need to be. It was, it's a situation that wasn't escalated. These three were talking to each other, and it was solved the mature way. And you're saying, the mature way on Twitter? Yes. And then they go and do that. Whatever. It's fucking bullshit. In more fighting news, Killer Instinct. Let's talk about it. For those who don't know, the definitive edition is coming out. That's right. Retail version is coming out August 30th for $40. On Amazon, and then GameStop is going to have it September 20th. So just to let you know, so if you want the retail version with all the DLC and everything rammed into it, because it's apparently they're putting all the seasons in it, on physical copy, it's coming. Just to let you know, okay? Now, we talked about old fighting games, and you saw last week I showed Tabal number 1. Before that, I showed you, Neo Geo Battle Coliseum. So this week, I feel as though we need to go a little bit more older, okay? Yeah, you're saying older. How can we get more older? That's right. I was really thinking about showing Pit Fighter, but I said, nah, I'll just leave that for the future. I think it's a little too old. I think people get a little too excited. So, let's start with a game that has actually multiple sequels, and let's show Power Instinct. Power Geysers, what's going on in this game? This game, like I said, back in the day, was so fun to play. Atlas, why don't we have an updated version of this? I'm just wondering. I understand we have multiple sequels, but why don't we have an updated version of this today? I'm just wondering. Anyways, like I said, this game was so fun for its time. And as you can see, it doesn't look too dated, for its game. Some people will say, oh, it looks dated as hell. Actually, no, it doesn't look any more dated than what Samurai Showdown does. So as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't look that dated. It moves pretty good, too, as far as I'm concerned. So, yeah, I think that this is one of those games that, once again, needs a remake. It just does. I think if they came out with this, I think people would flock to it. I really think they would. Anyways, let's move on to more news. Man, that's good times. Naruto fans, that's right. Naruto Online is coming to the West in July 20th. As you know, MMORPG, but it's a turn-based browser game. Just letting you know. So Naruto Online, July 20th. Okay? Now, let's move on. Rainbow Six Siege is now punishing players for team killing. Which is fine. I don't know why you didn't punish players beforehand. I just don't understand this. As far as I'm concerned, look, you're getting to a point now where you got to be really creative when it comes to punishing players. And I think that's something that hasn't happened, often. Now, for those who are big fans of Rainbow Six like myself, like I said, I still play Rainbow Six Vegas for Terrorist Hunt. We're going to do a video on that eventually, gameplay video. It's going to happen, okay? It's going to happen. But And I just have to find out who I want to use. Because for those who don't know, when you play Rainbow Six Vegas 2, you can put other people's faces on your character. So I don't know exactly who I'm going to play as yet. Because I played as Oprah Winfrey. I played, when you're trolling people. I played as Oprah Winfrey. I played as Samuel L. Jackson. I played as the Terminator. I played as, Jason. I played as a number of people. So it's really funny. To hear the reactions when you have the headset on. Dude, is that Oprah Winfrey? Did she just kill me? And you're like, yeah, it's Oprah, bitch. Like, it's one of those things where I love to have fun with Rainbow Six. So I'm going to have one. But I think because of all the terrorist talk, before about Gamergate being terrorist and all this type of stuff, I think that maybe I'll use Anita. I'm not sure. I don't know who I'm going to use yet. I don't know. I have to figure it out. Maybe you should poll you fans. Maybe, you know what I mean? But you have to understand that with Rainbow Six, when you played online, there was a lot of team killing. There was a lot of, it really depends. Yes and no. I think, if anything, the biggest problem with Rainbow Six at the time was spawn camping. That was the biggest problem, I feel. The team killing, it wasn't that much. There was a lot, but not much. You know what I mean? As opposed to the bigger problem. Spawn camping was a huge problem. Especially if you're on Presidio map. It was a huge fucking problem. So you had to be very careful. As soon as you spawn, they had every angle, picked out. You really had to fight your way out of it. Literally, as soon as you spawn, run. That's what you had to do. Run. Pick a spot, run. You know what I mean? Until you can find a safe area to crouch down at. But it's one of those things where I think Ubisoft, I think you're going too far with punishing when it comes to people. Team killing, it's all supposed to be jokes and laughs. If it's competitive, if you have some type of competitive market that you're going for, like how Counter-Strike is and all those type of things, then yeah, you have to deal with that. You have to. But if it's not, it's a casual game and people are team killing, you do what you gotta do. You know what I mean? If they're killing you, guess what? Turn around, fucking kill them. It's that simple. You don't get mad and then complain to Ubisoft about it. You get even. That's what you do in games. I don't understand why people get so mad about that. Anyways, let's move on. And you gotta make sure it's legit team killing too. Not just, you stepped in my crosshairs when I was shooting, my mistake. Or your mistake. Don't tell me that's team killing. Don't do that. That's just you being stupid. You know what I mean? But let's move on. Just Cause 3 multiplayer mod has been canceled. That's right, because Avalanche has hired the lead developer. Okay. You know what I mean? So, anyways, that's gone. Dark Souls. Let's talk about Dark Souls. Okay. Dark Souls creator says he wants to make something that surpasses the Souls series. And as far as I'm concerned, go for it. But it's going to be kind of tough because Dark Souls is a hell of a series, man. It just is. It's a very fun series. Like I said, it's up there with me with Monster Hunter. You know what I mean? It's a very fun series. Can't take anything away from it. But if you feel as though you can strive for better, then hey, I'm for it. I support you 100%. You've already proven to this community that you can make a great game or a series such as Dark Souls. I look forward to the next. We'll see what happens. But in more news, Demon Souls. That's right, Demon Souls remake is possible. That's right, remaking it for the PS4 and the Xbox One, but it will be from another studio. So just to let you know, all right? They've already said that. Personally, I would say if you're going to be a Souls fan, as long as they don't if the studio does this to a T and doesn't mess it up, if you want the next generation type stuff, that's fine. You know what I mean? But understand that Demon Souls was very easy. It was a very easy game. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that. Besides, I think Demon Souls is one of my, I say out of the Souls series, I think is the favorite because for me it was the first. You know what I mean? It was the first to come along. So I think it was the most favorite series. Besides, fighting Armored Spider is so fun every time. You know what I mean? It really is. All the enemies that were in that one were really fun to fight. You know what I mean? There were some that, some people say, were so annoying. Personally, I didn't have much of a problem. If you felt that way, as you know, you could just sit back and shoot projectiles. But why do that? Go into battle, get your fight in. You know what I mean? There are some people that were tough in that game, but, you know what I mean? Especially near the end. You know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to say who, because I don't know if anybody's beaten it yet. You know what I mean? Even though it's so old, I don't want to spoil it for you. But you know how the end is, for who's beating Demon Souls. You know who you get. That guy you got to fight. Yeah, you know who I'm talking about. All right? But either way, and I'm not talking about all the way to the end either, where you got to go into the water. No, I'm talking about before that. We're talking about still in the castle. Yeah, we're talking about that. So, anyways, let me move on. I want to talk about Evolve. Evolve Stage 2. Actually, it's not even Stage 2. For those who don't know, Evolve is going free to play. Yeah, Stage 2. I would say you actually had to humble yourselves a bit because with Evolve, you killed it with all your greed. You had no choice. So, yeah, Stage 2, go free to play. And then try and get people for your money because people weren't buying it because you got greedy. You hurt yourselves. And it's funny because in the article they're like, yeah, this was the most anticipated shooter in 2015. What? Really? Really? Okay. All right. Mm-hmm. And like the other, like that dumb horse said, was it not too long ago? No one's going to play Smash Brothers on the Wii U because no one has a Wii U. They're not going to play Smash. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I swear, man. Yeah. Just keep, getting more fake boobs that crush your brain. How about that? Anyways, let's move on. I want to talk about this. I came across this not too long ago. This Pac-Man game. Because I want to talk about Pac-Man game. However, I have very serious doubts that this is the largest or the biggest Pac-Man game in the world. Now, for those who know, I'm a huge Pac-Man fan. You know that. We talk about it on Twitter and all this type of stuff. But you've got to be kidding me if this is the largest Pac-Man game in the world. I mean, doesn't Dave & Buster's have an even bigger one? Don't they have, like, one plastered against the wall? Don't they have that? So as far as I'm concerned, and this is by Namco, they're saying this is the world's largest Pac-Man game. Now, while I had no problem playing this game, and I enjoyed every second of it, you can't tell me that this is the largest Pac-Man game, Pac-Man system or, screen in the world. At least I don't think it is. But then again, can you really break it down to a technical standpoint and say, well, the Dave & Buster's one isn't the original Pac-Man. It's actually designed for, other players, to go against each other. I mean, do you want to break it down those technical aspects? I mean, this game was quite large when I stepped in front of it. It was. And I stepped in front of it. This was on Tuesday. I stepped in front of it. It was quite large. But, like I said, I had fun with it. But I don't think it's the largest in the world. And I would like to probably hunt down which one is the largest in the world. I probably should do that. And try and go at it, and then get it on camera. You know what I mean? I think that's what it's, get it on camera. That would be a moment. You know what I mean? That's just an experience that would be so great. So, but I'm sure if you guys want to see me play this one as well, I'll go back and I'll play this one with no problem. I'll go back and play this one on camera. I don't have a problem with that. You know what I mean? So, let's move on. Shall we? Because we have more news. Now we're going to get into the Nintendo, mostly the Nintendo portion of this. I know we talked about Pokemon Go, but there's a lot of Nintendo news this week. A lot. For those who don't know, Pikmin 4 is still happening, says Miyamoto. So Pikmin fans, rejoice. You're getting ready to get your game. You know what I mean? It's on the list so far. So it is coming. So something tells me, NX, it's coming. Now, Monster Hunter Generations. We talked about this last week. I told you about Toon Link. You know what I mean? Zelda is, the costumes are going to be in a game. Well, Capcom has now put out, so far what we've seen, a list of what you can expect with Monster Hunter Generations when it comes to DLC. So, you know that Zelda is going to be part of it, right? The Zelda series. Also, Star Fox, that's right. Fire Emblem, Okami, Mega Man, and Strider. That's right. So all these things are coming to Monster Hunter Generations. So Monster Hunter fans, get ready. Just saying. Now, let's move on to more Nintendo news. Nintendo is opening a Kirby Cafe in Japan. I'm pretty jealous. Because like I said, Japan gets they get all the cool stuff. We don't get anything. And if we do get something, it's always like somewhere like in the Midwest. So you gotta get on a plane to travel to it. Like, come on. You know what I mean? You can't make it more, more convenient for people. And I mean, like, actually have these cafes, in this case, these cafes in number of places. You know what I mean? When you have these type of events at number of places. Like, we can't have that. It always has to be somewhere in the middle of nowhere. I swear. But also, in more news, Nintendo files a new patent for a handheld device. So let's just let you know, people are already saying, will this, connect to the NX? Is it possible we'll have a new 3DS? No one knows yet. It's just a patent, really, for a new device. We don't know how it's going to connect with anything. We shall see. Okay? But the link will be in the info bar. Also, more Nintendo news. Nintendo releases a mini collector's edition NES. It comes with 30 games. It is a mini Nintendo that plugs up HDMI-wise, that plugs up to your high-definition TV that you can play these games. And it also, Comes with one NES controller. This controller also connects to your Wii U pad, so if you decide you want to play an old school game, a virtual game that you have on your Wii U, you can use the old controller as well to play it. So just to let you know that. Now, this is running for about, what, $60? I'll put it like this. These games that they're on there, they're giving me 30 games, I already have them. I have two NES systems here. Original NES systems. So as far as I'm concerned, I don't need this, but I can understand the convenience of people who want this. They want an updated version so they can plug it into their system. I'm sure there has to be more to this. 30 games, I feel, even though for $60, it sounds like a deal, but you also have to understand, people have already had this on their high-def systems, depending, if they have the ROMs or whatever. Of course, you want to, support Nintendo. Some people will say they don't have any more rooms for any more consoles because, physical-wise. I think if you don't have this Nintendo, if you don't have the original Nintendo, you missed out on it. I would suggest buying this because, let's be honest here, you should have that nostalgia kick. You should understand what it meant to play Zelda back in the day and all those type of things. Like I said, those games, Zelda, Metroid, all those games were legendary for a reason back in the day. And they still, to this day, hold up to the test of time. They just do. They are great games. Like I said, playing those as a kid, and I'm still playing them as an adult. What does that tell you? The longevity that these games had back then still goes on. So as far as I'm concerned, if you're thinking about it, I would say, hey, pull the trigger, get it. You know what I mean? It's some type of special edition, whatever. So as far as I'm concerned, I have these games, so for me, it's not a big deal. But for those who don't, please, consider, getting it and having that nostalgia kick with the rest of us so you can understand, so you can relate, you know what I mean? Really fun times. Great times. It may make you a little frustrated, too, because the mechanics of games back then aren't what they are now. So you have to, take your time and have some patience with some of these games, okay? Now, I do want to move on. I want to talk about Spider-Man 4. This is bad news, actually. This is bad news. Spider-Man 4, we talked about the Spider-Man for the PS4. It looked great for what we saw. Everyone's ecstatic. I talked about it not too long. I said, hey, this game looks great, right? Spider-Man 4. Insomniac says the game might not come out anytime soon. So you show it at E3, and now you're telling us that the game's not coming out anytime soon. Okay. Game looks great, though. From what we saw, I don't know what else to tell you. I really don't. That's a real letdown. It is. Anyways, that's all the news I have for you today. And it goes to show you that once again, I'm very happy with the community this week with the way they've stuck to their guns and stuck together on this issue. As you can see, the media has tried to turn everything that's been positive to a negative. And it goes to show you what type of people they are. They don't take any responsibility for what they do. And of course they're not going to, because they feel as though they can get away with anything. When you have these sites, and you have to hold them accountable too, because these sites know exactly what they're doing, because they want those clicks, and they're going to greenlight that. And it goes to show you that they're not for the community. They're not for gaming. And they keep saying, well, we're the greatest, and we have games, and we're gamers and us. If you're gamers, you would use common sense, and you, as an editor, you would look at whoever wrote this and say, look, this is just way out of bounds. What's wrong with you? Why would you do this? Why are you hired? If you keep writing stuff like this, you got to go. But no, nobody wants to be honest, and that's the thing. It's not about, well, it's my opinion. It's not that. You can have an opinion. But you can tell that it's not honesty. Blatantly, you can tell it's not honesty. It's someone who just wants to lash out at a specific group. That's not being honest. That's being hateful. That's what that is. And as far as I'm concerned, I don't know how these type of people keep getting support. I don't understand that. Now, what we're seeing on Twitter today, some of these writers, they've been taken, since these articles come out, they've been taken to task. Gamers have gone after them. But clearly, it's not enough, because as you know, they're only going to come back and do it again. I'm not saying people should lose their jobs too much, but if you're going to be this irresponsible, and that's what it is, this irresponsible to say something like this, and someone is that irresponsible to greenlight it, then you do need to lose your job. Because that's what I'm basing it off of. It's not your experience, it's not your opinion. You know when you've told people, what happened to the days where people were stuck in their house? They need to go back to that. That's not being honest. That's not just having an opinion. That's you trying to tell society, stay in your fucking house because I don't like what you're doing. That's being hateful. That's being self-centered. That's being self-serving. that's being immature. And if you think society's going to fucking listen to you, oh yes, we're all just going to stay in our houses because it pleases you. Yeah, you can fuck right off with that. That's absolutely ridiculous. But these are the things that apparently are allowed to be printed. These are the things that are allowed to be put on sites. Yeah. It's disgusting that this is what you have to do in order to get attention. Maybe, if you left your nasty attitude at home when you went outside, this wouldn't be a problem. Maybe you would get to know people. Maybe, instead of judging on the fucking surface and then going and running home to write an article about it, you would learn more about people. Why they're playing Pokemon Go. Who has helped others. Who's willing to stick their neck out for complete strangers. But you don't want to talk about that because that doesn't sell, does it? Positivity doesn't sell. You know, being kind to your fellow man or woman does not sell. Helping children, apparently, does not sell. What does that tell you? As a society, as our community, as gamers. For everything we've tried to do positive, here come these fucking assholes and try and tear down something. Nintendo has something good here. The society, the community has done something good here. And now you want to take that away. Because apparently every week should be doom and fucking gloom. So that they have some type of drama to write about. Guess what? People are tired of your fucking drama. Because that's all it is. Me. Fuck you. Anyways, I'm done this week. I hope y'all have a good time. I hope you're outside playing Pokemon Go. I hope you make some new friends. I hope you get people who aren't used to playing video games into this type of stuff as an introduction. I hope that you're out there laughing it up with people, even strangers, and saying, hey, I caught this person, and having fun. Because God knows, with everything that's been going on in society, I think we're entitled, I shouldn't even say entitled, I think we deserve to have just a little bit of fun, don't you think? Anyways, I'll talk to you then. Y'all be safe. I'm out.